Hey boys and girls, this is Brian with Texas Truck Channel, and I'm at our friend's shop, Cali Raised LED. They're based here in Fort Worth, Texas. Don't want the name to fool you. They do all the manufacturing of all their cool stuff. Not there, that's their warehousing facility. This building in the back, they make everything. And we're gonna talk about their 6th Gen 4Runner and all the parts they make here. I'm just covering this because these guys supported our Tacoma that we had before, and I think it transformed the truck completely. Now, we have not bought a 4Runner for the show. I don't think we will because we're more of a truck channel. But I want to cover what they've done for the 4Runner as well because I just really personally like it. They're not paying us to do this. If you've got a Toyota, you need to be looking at Cali Raised. We've actually reviewed one of these already before, recently down in Conroe. It was the premium of the TRD Sport. This is an SR5, which I'm excited about as well because we will never get an SR5 from the Toyota press fleet. They'll always send us the higher trims. So it's kind of cool to see a more entry-level trim. Right off the bat, let's talk about exterior, up front and the nose. You've got the same style headlights we had on our Tacoma, but it doesn't say anything on the side right here. You have a different nose though. This has more of the Tundra's Fu Manchu kind of design here, if you look down right here, compared to the Tacoma. Whereas the Tacoma looks more like the Sequoia's nose. They kind of inverse them. So the Tundra and 4Runner have Fu Manchu. Tacoma and Sequoia do not. I kind of like the Tacoma's nose a little better. This is Cali Raised Tacoma, and you can see here it does not have the Fu Manchu. It has more of a tapered design. Ignore the stealth bumper for what I'm talking about right now, but that's the difference. Also, y'all have seen this truck before on the show a lot. The thing is a beast. We've wheeled it before. We've been across the country with it before. Good truck. Back to the 4Runner. This thing looks incredible, and that's really why I wanted to come see it today. They've already got the stealth bumper on the front, which is this guy right here, which is a big deal because I think Toyota's factory front bumper is just not good enough. It's all plastic and it's all waiting to get ripped off from the trail. Not here. This is a heavy duty steel bumper, integrated LED light bar. It's got the Cali Raised logo in the middle, but that's there. And it also has features to mount a winch plate down here, and it goes all the way down to the plating with recovery points on it. Incredibly good, all made here in Texas, not just America, here in Texas. That's pretty cool. They've also got their LED lights right here. These are replacements for the factory ones, and these are ambers, which I like a lot. Those are pretty cool. And then you've got the signature Cali Raised ditch lights right here, which we run these on everything we have, including our Ranger. They made brackets for our Ranger custom, and it's just a good kit. This LED is a 27 watt and actually lights out the side and shoots the ditches. I actually point ours forward because I just want additional lighting on rural highway driving at night. So that's what that's for. If you go on trail use, you can turn to the ditch if you want. Today's sponsor is Lasfit liners. I actually gave these liners to Cali Raised to test for us. They took it to Jeep Jamboree in East Texas, which is a gnarly off-road weekend. It kept the thing safe as heck, just like it did in our Tacoma. They're really, really good. The rear liner in the back is really great. It goes all the way full coverage to the end. They make this in both hybrid and non-hybrid variant, and it gets pass-throughs for your tie downs. You don't lose any of that. Really good configuration. They do make this in hybrid flavor as well. Oh look, they're running a nice coach chest just like we do too. Man, he has good taste. And just like out back, we do have the front liners as well. They plug in right here. They're really good, and they have full coverage to the back right there. This gives you so much more coverage than the factory liner, and look how clean it is underneath here. Looks brand new. I know for a fact this truck was covered in mud. It's already been to the West Coast. It's already been, well, recently to Flagstaff, and before that, East Texas. Thanks again to Lasfit liners. If you'd like to get a liner for yourself, don't hesitate, just get them. Discount code is TTC, and there's a link down below in the description. Let's talk about wheel and tire. We can't ignore that. He is running Method 708s on here, which I think are absolutely gorgeous. Now, Method wheels are really good because they have a built-in lip on them, and it's kind of got a knurled edge, so if you air down really low, it's designed to keep the bead from coming off, which is pretty cool. Now, it's wrapped in Nitto ridge grapplers, not Terry grapplers, 285, 75, 17. That's what we ran on our Tacoma when we had ours, and that's right about a 34-inch tire. Pretty good, no complaints there. These are 34s on this one. Side steps, these are not side steps. These are rock rails. They mount directly to the frame. This is the step version, and Cali Raised makes a trail version, which doesn't have the step integrated. It actually hugs the body a little more this way. We ran the steps in our Tacoma because the trails weren't production ready yet, but we will be putting those, well, we would if we still had our Tacoma, we'd be running the trails, I think. But these are nice too, because if you have a roof rack like this, you can just step up and get up here to do what you need to do. Which leads me to the next thing. Cali Raised roof rack is the best roof rack on the market, and it's because of this airfoil right here. The whole reason for me to have a roof rack is to have a light bar up there and extra storage. But when you're not running cases up there, you don't want the wind noise of a light bar. That's what this is for. When you do want it, you loosen this guy right here, super easy, go to the next side. And now, boom, you've got the sun on your side, which is really cool. And these wire up on different circuits. This is the same setup we had in our Tacoma. A lot of power in the middle, ambers on the outside. Really, it's a win-win. So if you're on the trail and you're not doing highway speeds, you put that thing out. Also, this is not technically DOT legal for a lot of areas. So when you're back on the highway and you don't want the wind noise, pop it up. And now there is none, and I can report there is no added wind noise from this roof rack. I just seriously love it. We've had some competitors offer racks for our Ranger, which are cool looking, but I know they're gonna be wind noisy. And if I can't run a light bar without avoiding the wind, then what are we doing? So that's my take on that. Now, you do have side molly on this side. This is actually a prototype piece. It's not quite ready for the 6 gens, but they're testing on this rig right here. This is pretty cool if you want to do rotor packs on the side, pack out gears, whatever you want to do. This rack also bolts into this factory bracket from Toyota. They do a better job than other brands do for accessory ready stuff, and that's what this is. And it's rated for rooftop tents and everything else. We ran tents on ours, and it was just rock solid. There was no issues with it at all. As far as suspension, all they've done to it is factory rear suspension, and they have a Westcott collar lift in the front. So it's a 2.5-inch lift in the front, and it's from Westcott Designs. They're more of a Arizona company. I think they're out of Chandler, Arizona, I believe. And I think it gives it just the right amount of raise in the front. It's not too much. They make good stuff. I'm happy to see that here. And actually, rise and drive's fine. I drove around here a little bit a minute ago, and it's solid. I do want to talk about the powertrain. We're out back right now. Again, this is SR5, so you have kind of the base lights out in the back, but you do get things that I do love about 4Runner Life right here. Roll down rear window, try that in your Jeep. Not gonna happen. So that's pretty cool. This is basically a camera guy's dream machine because they can film out the back of these things. Let's see what it sounds like real quick. I think it'll be similar to our old Tacoma. Okay, had that signature Toyota pop, 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 pop kind of sound on the rev limiter. I love that they do that. Let's see the motor up front. Okay, let me guess. It's gonna be a TNGA-F platform. Let's see, what is this thing? Oh, that's right, T24A FTS engine. This is the exact same engine and transmission we had in our 4Runner. I do know that the internet's gonna kind of go down in the comments. There's an open recall on the transmissions right now on these. I don't know what for, I haven't dug into it. Ours had a hard shift, but that was it, and it went away after a simple dealer diagnostic. So I'm not concerned about this. I know that there's a lot of old V6 fanboys that are like, oh no, the Turbo 4s aren't reliable. They are, they've been around for years. It's just a choice of something different. This motor is the same one we ran in our old Tacoma, and that's the non-hybrid variant. Good for 278 horsepower, 317 torque. And look, it's totally adequate. I don't think it's a rocket ship. I don't think it's slow. I think it gets the job done. I do prefer it though to the iForce Max hybrid just because of the personality of it. I think it's not giving you any start-stop weirdness that the hybrid forces you to do unless you're in tow mode. And you get more storage in the rear. I think for this kind of vehicle, I would just go hybrid over the, I would go non-hybrid over the hybrid. But no complaints here. It sounds good, makes fun turbo sounds, a lot to love. All right, jumping right in. We know we have a hatch or a rear tailgate that will drop, but this hatch, because we're SR5, is not powered. I kind of love that. One less thing to go wrong, no beeping at night when you're on a camping trail. You're not gonna wake up your buddies when you open the tailgate. I kind of prefer that. And because it's not a hybrid, we get the full depth of the rear hatch. You do see that there's not a third row in this one. There is an option for that, but it's not here. You do have the, from Cali raised, the molly rack in the rear, so you can put storage and have your cooler underneath. This is actually a refrigerator. Interior molly on the side and top, so it gives you all the storage you need for different activities. That's pretty awesome. Overlanding is just fun. All right, coming to the second row. Man, I like the cream seats in here. This is such a nice look for a dark interior. It brightens it up. You do have a smaller door than you do on the Tacoma because you have, well, a tire in the way because you got the golden ratio, just like a Land Cruiser, 112.2 on the wheelbase. That's pretty cool. But you have more room than a Tacoma. And this is my biggest qualm. And honestly, the reason we sold our Tacoma is that my kids couldn't ride in the back of it. It drove them crazy and me crazy. They were kicking me all the time. Their legs were behind their head, basically. It was awful. So in terms of midsize, Ranger, Colorado, and Gladiator have more room back here. But the 4Runner solves that. You've got more space. You've got a step to get in and a grab handle. I'm gonna see if I fit in here. And I do, with the hat on. I'm not even hitting with the hat on. I can just fit back here, and it's not a big deal. I couldn't do this in the Tacoma. That's a huge improvement. While we're back here, we do have an armrest, even on the SR5, that is off the floor, or off the bottom of the seat, well designed with cup holders integrated. Mat pocket on both sides in case you need navigation. Also, this textile is really durable. I like this textile a lot. I actually prefer this over a leather, big time. You do get rear AC because Toyota just does that right. In the 4Runner, I don't know why they don't do this in the Tacoma. And then down below you have USB-C and USB-C. and that's it, no wall plugs. One more thing, while we're talking interiors, Toyota does the best job on door panels, I think. They've got MOLLE built in right here, a good cell phone pocket, and an integrated cup holder right there. Not bad Toyota. All right, hopping up to the first class up here, we have a little accessory from the guys that gives you an extra armrest and some storage and a place for your patches. You also have, again, the best door panel in the business, cup holder, and this we've tested this, we've lived with it, it was great. This right here is Morse code for a future accessory that Toyota hasn't really capitalized on yet, but they will at some point. You can hide your snuff can there, I guess, for those guys. Up here is another prototype accessory from Cali Raised LED. This is actually an insert for a switch panel to go in. So you have these multi-pack switch panels that can have like 8 sensors or switches. This truck's not wired up yet, but it will be wired up to there for both the ditch lights, the scene lights to give you your camp lights on the side, and the light bar in the front. It's pretty cool, probably winches as well. SR5 trim gives us a non-power seat, but you do have power lumbar with a manual adjust up and down, kind of like our Ranger, no complaints. Coming on in to the interior, let's start this thing up and get some AC going. We do have the base cluster. Oi, not the best one out there, but neither is our Ranger's cluster, so no complaints there. This is the non-leather wrap steering wheel on the SR5, but it still feels like Ford's leather wrap a little bit. It's really nice for a urethane. Actually, you know, it is a leather wrap. It's just not quite as thick as our TRD off-road had. Feels really good. Toyota does a good job on the wheels and these things, and the power steering feels excellent in these. Oh, baby. Chase has been after it. He's got the patches covered. Guy's on it. You do get the smaller cluster on this, or screen on this, because it's not the upper trim. I prefer this one because when you do the bigger trims, the cluster gets up to here, and it's just a visibility problem. On top of this, we have another Cali Raised accessory. This is the interior accessory mount, and he can put here his phone right there, or whatever you want. It's got an accessory track right there for all kinds of stuff. 8-speed automatic. 4-wheel drive, you got low, high, and 2 high. Tow haul and drive modes. You don't have multi-train select, and you don't have diff locks on this one because it's an SR5. That being covered, I'm excited about the 4Runner, that it's in the market. I love that even SR5s like this can get accessorized well. And again, this is not an ad, I'm just here to tell you, these guys make the best stuff in the business, and it's all made right here in Fort Worth, Texas. I just want to support my buddies over here, and if I had a Toyota, personally, there's no question I'd be shopping with these guys. They just have really good quality stuff. And the roof rack, they've got everyone whipped on that. That's the best one to have, and it looks so cool, and it helps out with accessories. Hope that helps you guys shop on your stuff, and we're excited about these 4Runners hitting the streets. If you have one, let us know what you've done to it or what you want to do with it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.